Sir, you and I have known each other almost 3 decades, ever since you came and electrified an audience of about 1,000 Oxford students with one of the most eloquent defenses of Israel that I have ever heard. And perhaps your most moving line that night was when you ended and said that some of us in this room have lost brothers in the defense of Israel. And it touched even the protesters. Netanyahu, you should know, we support the PLO, who you invited in, that line about your brother. Yoni Netanyahu is arguably Israel's most revered military hero. When I later had the honor of hosting your father, the great warrior scholar, Ben-Zion Netanyahu, he was one of the proudest Jews I have ever met, and no doubt that has so impacted your own pride and your ferocious defense of your people. But I also always detected a certain sadness in the loss of what Shimon Peres called the magnificent Yoni Netanyahu. 41 years after his loss, it is our great honor, with the permission, the blessing of Marion Wiesel and Elisha Wiesel, to present him with the Elie Wiesel Award. You and I revered Elie Wiesel, as did the Jewish people in the world. The man who President Obama called the conscience of the world passed away 2 years ago. He was not only the world's most famous Holocaust survivor and the great witness to the martyred 6 million, he was the great Jewish light to the nations. And his greatest legacy, perhaps, is his son Elisha, a man of outstanding moral commitment and ethical excellence and total dedication to the Jewish people. Elisha is a soul friend, and it is with his permission and with his authority that we give this very unique award to bestow the name of Elie Wiesel on your martyred brother, who is such a great champion of our people and who freed 102 people in one of the most daring and electrifying rescue missions in the history of the world. Elisha.
Thank you so much, Prime Minister, for accepting this award. It's particularly meaningful to me knowing that our fathers were friends. And when I read what Yoni Netanyahu wrote about his experience of reading my father's works and then watching my father read what Yoni had written in his letters, our families are connected, and it's very meaningful for us that this award can be given today. Your brother was an amazing individual, clearly. I read what he wrote, and he was an intellectual hero, an unrelenting intellect, a passionate insistence on taking questions to the end. But ultimately, it was his actions that I think really have left their mark on generations of Israel and also in the diaspora. So he is well remembered, and thank you, of course, also for your service. And it is a pleasure to be associated with the Netanyahu name today with this award.
Thank you. I'm deeply touched. It's an interesting juncture. Wiesel, Elie, and Yoni. Yoni gave a list of books to Harvard when he was accepted there that he had read, and he mentions Elie's book as one of the true inspiration. And I said this to Elie. He had known about it, but I said it to him. And I'll tell you why it was truly inspiring, because Elie was a witness to a Holocaust, and Yoni devoted his life to make sure there's not another Holocaust. And it's the same devotion to our people, to the truth, and to ensure that we control our destiny that animated both. Elie was magnificent. He was unbowed. He spoke his conscience before all. He spoke up for Jerusalem. Every time I asked him to do so, he did it. And he came to the joint session of Congress when I spoke there. He was sitting in the gallery, and I pointed it out, and he had the moral authority to say that we must stop this attempt at the future annihilation of the Jewish state, which means the Jewish people. He had that moral clarity about him, just as Yoni had the moral clarity about him. Yoni was a warrior on the battlefield. Elie was a great warrior on the battlefield of conscience. And he'll be remembered as such in the history of our people. So I think this meeting of these two great souls here today is one that can inspire many of us to continue their common quest to ensure the future of the Jewish people and of justice.
And thank you, Prime Minister, for everything you've always done to keep the Jewish people safe. I know that you feel it in your heart, and I know you feel it in your soul, this mission to keep the Jewish people alive and safe. I've seen it in all the time that I've known you, in the spoken word and all your actions, and God bless you.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to ask Elisha to present his father's award.
Here you go. May the memory of your brother and my father be blessings for our families and all of Israel. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll cherish this. Thank
It's
you.
the tree of life, and Yoni's memory should be an eternal blessing to your family, to the Jewish people, and to the world, Prime Minister.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.